gentlemen, please rise for the class of 2002. Please remain standing for the presentation of the colors and the national anthem.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. It is with great pleasure I welcome you to the Potomac Senior High School Class of 2002 commencement exercises. The ceremony this evening is the culmination of hard work for students for 13 years as well as their parents. I would like to thank each of you in attendance this evening, parents, relatives, friends, and staff for the support you have given the graduates of the Class of 2002. This evening we are pleased to have with us several special guests. I'd like to introduce those guests at this time. Ms. Lucy Beecham, Chairman of the Prince William County School Board. Mr. Stephen Wassenberg, Vice Chairman for the Occoquan District. Mr. Stephen King, School Board Member of Woodbridge District. Mr. Lyle Biefeld, School Board Member of the Brentsville District. Also with us this evening is Mr. Chris Peterson, Area 3 Associate Superintendent of Schools. And representing the superintendent's staff, Mr. David Miller, Associate Superintendent of School Services. Again, I'd like to thank each of them for being part of this special occasion this evening. I would also like to thank Camera Run Video Productions for their videotaping this evening of our ceremony. They'll make these tapes available to students and parents who would like to have a copy of that tape. I'd also like to thank Nissan Pavilion for allowing us to, the Class of 2002, to hold our commencement exercises in their facility. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. I would also like to recognize the following teachers who will be retiring from Potomac this school year after many years of faithful and dedicated service. I'd like for you to hold their applause. I'd like for all of them to stand up, and we'll give them applause at the conclusion of their introductions. First of all, from the Guidance Department, Ms. Carolyn Baker. From the Math Department, Ms. Helen Dodson. From the Social Studies Department, Ms. Phyllis Hollis. From the Math Department, Ms. Kathy Scott. From the Guidance Department, Ms. Carol Wakefield. If you would please, give them a round of applause because we will miss them. Also, I'd like to thank Ms. Jean Gaudette for coordinating the graduation program. I know y'all enjoyed your hour and a half practice on Tuesday, so we want to make sure that we give her a thanks for this coordination. Now I'd like to talk to the class of 2002 for a little short period of time. I've told all the speakers that they couldn't talk more than 20 minutes tonight apiece, so I figured I could have 25. First of all, I would like to thank each and every one of you who are sitting in front of me this evening for your leadership, your accomplishments, and your resolve during the past years. September 11th, for all of us, caused us to stop and pause for a moment to think about our world. Your determination, and your determination alone, along with the other students, and the strength helped hold the school together in a time of crisis. You have led the way to make Potomac Senior High School a better place in academics, in athletics, and in all activities. You have certainly changed the perception of our school. December the 16th, 1999, I came to Potomac as your principal. We, and I say we because without you it wouldn't have worked, collectively made some commitments to improve our school. Academically, you have taken the SOL scores that were quite poor, and now they are very respectable and on the cusp of being the best. Let me tell you what your scores were. In 1999, you had 59% pass rate in English. Today, you have 83. In 1999, you had 22% pass rate in mathematics. Today, you have 69.5%. In science, you had 55% pass rate. Today, you have 72%. In social studies, in 1999, we had 15% pass rate. As of today, we had 60% pass rate. As I told you at practice, you'll be very proud of your accomplishments. That in itself is an achievement that people did not believe that you could make, and you've done that. You've been involved with great sport programs. You've set new standards with SCA, ROTC, clubs. This class alone was offered over $3 million worth of scholarships. That in itself is a great accomplishment. You, ladies and gentlemen, are an outstanding class. Now, we have prepared for this graduation celebration this evening. Some of you will be happy, of course. Some of you will be sad. But all of us at Potomac will miss you. Things will never be the same. You've improved the quality of life at Potomac forever. There were a couple of questions, though, that I don't know the answer to. And one of them was, where did you go on your senior trip because you weren't in school? And secondly, the other question is, how did 2002 get all along 4-year trail and you renamed it 5-year trail? I don't understand. Commencement, ladies and gentlemen, means the beginning of your world as an adult, the beginning of your life in the real world. Though many times will be difficult, we hope, and I mean sincerely, the entire staff of Potomac Senior High School, that we have helped you make responsible decisions to make the right choices in your life. It wouldn't be a graduation unless I used a quote, so I'm going to use one from Ralph Waldo Emerson. I'm sorry. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, what lies beneath us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. What lies within each and every one of you is the ability to achieve anything that you want to, and I wish you good luck. There was a famous doctor at one time, and I'm sure most of you read some of his books that I use some of his things from as well. And it's about being true to yourself. And he says, you have brains in your head, you have feet on your shoes. You can steer yourself in the direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what to do. And you are the guy who'll decide where to go. That's from All the Places We Go with Dr. Seuss. Again, best wishes to the class of 2002. What lies within each of you, again, is a great deal of pride, energy, honesty, and effort. Remember this little saying, first be the best, then be first. You have helped Potomac be the best, so now we encourage you to go out and be first in your lives. Thank you very much for what you've given to Potomac Senior High School. You have made a difference, and we will miss you and see you at after grad party this evening. At this time, I would like to, it is with great pride I introduce to you your class president, Shanice Wanzer.
Good evening. Congratulations, class of 2002. We finally made it. All of our hard work, determination, and last-minute late-night studying has finally paid off. I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be your class president. It's been an honor as well as fun. As a class, we have shared and made many, many memories together, which I hope we all cherish and keep as if a mental yearbook, so that later on, when lonely or frustrated, you can sit back and reflect. Reflect on the homecomings, proms, football games, basketball games, exams, the casual loitering in the halls, and the unforgettable first day of our freshman year. It seemed like only yesterday that when we first set foot into Potomac, and look at us now, we're graduating. I'd like for you to, form that mental yearbook and reflect. Reflect on the time that you have spent in high school, what you have gained, what you may have learned, and what you may have lost. Reflect on the friends that you've made, friends you may have lost contact with, and friends you've been going to school with since the middle school days. Think now about where you will be heading and what new challenges you will face as you embark onto a new level of your life. Use this time to see if there are any issues you'd like to settle with a family member or friend, because believe it or not, they're the ones who have helped you get to where you are today and have helped to develop the person you have now become. Make sure you tell them thank you. So Mom and Dad, or Riri, wherever y'all are, thank you so much. We've been through a lot. I love you guys. All right. It's important for you all to know that tomorrow is not guaranteed, so make sure that you live each day like it is your last. Reflect. See if you have done this, and not just rush through the last 4 years of high school, stressing entirely on getting the grades and being the best. Reflect on the strength that you have, not as an individual, but as a class. The events of this past year have been devastating ones, and knowing that we can overcome these trying times show how much strength we have as the class of 2002. With that strength, we are bound to do great things, and I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. I hope that you make the most of your lives and take the lessons you have learned both educationally and socially and apply them to your daily activities. I would like for you to think not of this time, the end of something special, but the beginning of the rest of your lives. And remember, whenever things begin to get too hectic, just take time out and flip through the pages of that mental yearbook. And with that being said, I'd also like to thank a friend of mine who's been there for me ever since the 4th grade, Rose Harback, wherever she is. There you go. And thank you, class of 2002, for the opportunity. It's been fun. And with that being said, I'll see most of y'all at grad night. Thank you.
The salutatorian award is presented to the member of the graduating class who has maintained the second highest scholastic average during his or her 4 years of high school. It was a very close race this year, but it's with great pride that I present the salutatorian award for the class of 2002 to Miguel Luis Durillo Guerrera. That's about as close as I could get. Here's your speech right
To the graduating class of 2002, to our dear family and friends, to our teachers, to our administrators, to everyone else, good evening. I am more than privileged to be here tonight to deliver the salutatorian speech. But please bear with me as I had to write the speech just last night. First off, I would like to say that every graduate deserves to be on stage to give a speech, to have the opportunity to be heard, and the opportunity to thank those who deserve it. Because I strongly believe that all of you worked just as hard as anybody on this stage. We may have given up different things, made different sacrifices, but we all had to work at something just to be here tonight. This alone deserves great recognition. Today's generation is so spoiled and selfish. We always have to get what we want, how we want it, when we want it. We always have to get things our way. Fast food restaurants are established on this have it your way mindset. That's why it takes a lot more courage and determination to be able to make one simple act of sacrifice these days. Each and every one of you has made countless sacrifices to accomplish what you have today. We've all sacrificed a lot. We've all accomplished a lot. Guys, I don't know how else to say it, but we did it. Some people may have doubted it, but we did it. We're graduating. This day represents every single drop of sweat, drop of tear, and drop of blood that you shed for the past 4 years. Do not let anybody tell you that you don't deserve the recognition that you are getting tonight. But we must remember that graduating is not an individual accomplishment. Numerous other people had to sacrifice a lot of things to make sure that we're seated in those seats. I'm talking about our parents, our family, our relatives, our friends, our teachers. Look around you. Everyone that you see here has helped you get where you are now. They may have affected you directly, like your parents, or indirectly, like that guy who told you where to sit. But everyone here shares your accomplishments. Truly, we would not be here tonight without any of these people. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize some of the special people that helped me get where I am now. First and foremost, to God. To you, I lift up all of my accomplishments. Because without you, truly, none of this will be possible. To my family, surprise. I hope you haven't run out of Kleenex just yet. Thank you so much for supporting me all the way. I know that you sacrificed so much for my own benefit. Recognizing you now in public is the only way that I can think of to pay back for all of the things that you've done for me. To my friends, thanks for always having my back. Thanks for all the memories, for all the moments, for all the smiles and all the tears. Thank you. To the class of 2002, thanks for making these past 4 years tolerable. A philosopher from the Age of Enlightenment said, "Where all is but dream, reasoning and arguments are of no use. Truth and knowledge, nothing. We have all accomplished something exceptional tonight. We have all overcome a monumental obstacle, but it's what we do with it that matters. Some of us will move on to attend a college. Some will join the workforce. Some will join the military. We're all going our different paths now. Wherever we go, we cannot merely dream of what could be, because dreams are nothing but what they are, dreams. We need to put to use what we have learned in the past 4 years. I'm not talking about math class, or English class, or science class, or history class. I'm talking about the experience that we have gained through experiencing high school. Apply it to your future endeavors in whatever you decide to do. Don't let it go to waste. Each member of the graduating class is great. I don't doubt that one bit. But we live in a world where mediocrity is the standard. So I leave all of you with a challenge tonight. And let's say 10 years from now, at our class reunion, I challenge you to be even greater people. I challenge you to exceed the standards that society has set on you. I challenge you to prove wrong all of those people who may say that you won't make it. I challenge you to prove wrong all of those people who may not believe in you. I challenge you to show the world what you're really made of. It is in your persistence and resilience that makes you great. But until then, I like rice, I'll be chillaxing, I'm out, and peace.
The valedictory award is presented to the member of the graduating class who has maintained the highest scholastic average during his or her 4 years of high school. It is with great pride that we present the valedictory award for the class of 2002 to Sun Ki Cho Chu.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to give all the glory and honor to my best friend. His name is Jesus Christ. Without him, I don't think I would be able to overcome all the obstacles and be standing here tonight. Also, I can find no reason not to thank my dear father and mother, who made the decision to give up their familiar culture and root to come all the way from Hong Kong to the United States for my education 4 years ago. Since they will not be understanding my speech in English, I hope they will at least understand my gratitude expressed in Chinese. 爸爸媽咪好多謝你哋，多謝。I also want to thank my friends and relatives who have made the effort to come witness my graduation tonight. I know my life would be a little dull without them, so thank you. And now, to my talented, lovely, and perhaps sometimes a little weird class of 2002. Congratulations for finishing the 4 years. For those of you who don't really care and are sitting here thinking, oh Joe, get off the stage, I don't care about high school, I just want to get that piece of paper and go home. First of all, you're stuck here now, so you might as well sit back and enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Also, you should care because you're all graduating with the best class at Potomac in years. Again, you might be thinking, oh, give me a break. Everyone in every single graduation says the same thing, that their class is the best ever. But if you listen to Mr. Parker, you should know that what I just said was true. So class, you deserve it. Congratulations. Interestingly, after reading many novels in the last 4 years, the last book I had to read was The Little Prince in my French class. In the story, an aviator has some problems with his engine and is forced to land on a desert. There, he meets the little prince who comes from another planet. This cute little prince has traveled around the universe and has found many adults are always in pursuit of certain things. Sadly, most of them have no directions and just blindly chase after the meaningless. Very often, they miss what's most important in their lives. This book really speaks to my heart. As we are graduating from high school, I think most of us understand the importance of working hard. However, sometimes we work so hard that we become blind, being easily vulnerable to duplicity, suspicion, and jealousy, so much so that we can't even find our own hearts anymore. Sometimes, when we think we have accomplished something, we don't realize that we have actually overlooked the people around us, and the basic elements of love and harmony are missing. Most of all, we forget that our principal driving force is supposed to be love, not work itself. I know when people touch on the subjects of love and sincerity, a typical response will be, "Stop being naive, kid. It's impossible in the real world. It's just about getting ahead." But I'm standing here to prove to everyone that it is possible through my personal experience at Potomac High School. In this time of the year 4 years ago, I entered an American high school building for the first time with trepidation. Before I went to school, one neighbor actually told me, half-jokingly, that I would get beat up in the bathroom simply because I was a foreigner. Believe it or not, I actually believed him. I remember I was so lost on the first few days. I didn't know why people were reciting a jumble of words early in the morning, which I later found out to be the Pledge of Allegiance. I didn't know the American teen culture either. For example, when some of my classmates were rapping the blank song by Cisco, I just couldn't understand half of the vocabulary. Really, I just didn't know how I could interact with people so different from myself. But guess what? I didn't get beat up in the bathroom. Fortunately, most people that I met wanted to reach out and make me feel welcome. My teachers were all wonderful. Unlike other teachers, they did not just stand there and lecture and simply make sure that our scores beat the scores of other schools in the county. I mean, these teachers really care about your personal growth. My French teacher, Mrs. Marilyn Clemens, was always concerned about my life. Every day she approached me to ask me how I was doing. And 2 years ago, when my family considered leaving this area, Miss Jean Gaudet tried to convince my parents not to move because she knew it would be best for my education to stay in the same school. I stayed, and I'm glad I did. When my father first established his tailoring business, Mr. Pielmeyer didn't hesitate to come have us make a suit for him and became one of our first customers. Mr. Pielmeyer didn't have to do that, although he got a very nice suit from us anyway. You might think I'm lying here and I'm a teacher's pet. Maybe I was, but now I'm graduating. It wouldn't help at all to suck up, would it? So you gotta believe me. My fellow classmates have had an impact on me more than I could have ever imagined. 4 years ago, I thought I wouldn't fit into the American student body because our values were so different. True, my classmates and I are still very different. But through it all, my classmates have been nothing but loving and accepting. Loving, accepting, and most importantly, not beating you up in the bathroom. What more could I ask? The best thing about my fellow classmates is that when I don't understand something, they don't make fun of me. Instead, they teach me. I remember one time somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey Joe, what's up?" I looked up the ceiling. I was confused because I couldn't see anything up there. So I asked him back, "Yeah, what's up?" Later, after I found out the real meaning of what's up, I asked a friend how I was supposed to respond. He said, "Just say nothing since people don't care about what you answer anyway." Trust me, it's been working ever since. No matter what, the best part about knowing a new culture is to learn about all the cool slang. Over the last 4 years, there were always certain people who taught me slang. They were always like, "Joe, say this, say that." And after I said it, they would just burst out laughing. Do you know what they taught me? Of course I can share it. Unfortunately, no matter how hard I tried, my slang just never sounded right. Seriously though, these minor things did help remove the anxiety that I once had and help me adapt to the American culture. Potomac Senior High School probably does not have the highest test scores. However, I still think that the school is outstanding because people here do have hearts. You all have shown me that love is possible in America. I'm not ignoring the reality, and I realize there is still this loyalty and slyness out there. But I'm tired of seeing people being overly pessimistic. They often say the real world is evil. But who comprises the real world? You and me. So how to shape it also depends on you and me. My dear classmates, don't let people tell you that you are naive when you convey your love and sincerity. Instead, tell them that they are naive because they underestimate the truth of love. The victory belongs to us, the graduates. We will not succumb to hatred, jealousy, and exploitation, but instead, we'll all resort to love, understanding, and reconciliation. There's just no other way. Before I leave the stage, I have a final thing to say. This may be the first time or the last time you have learned of your impact on me. To be honest, I know many people at Potomac have respected me because of my academic achievements. But I need to tell you that I respect all of you even more because you all have helped me to be where I am today. As we're all moving on after 9 o'clock this evening, I hope you can maintain your kindness and use it to influence many others. Your love, your thoughtfulness, your smiles, it all matters. It really does. Congratulations again, my dear class of 2002. I'll miss you all. Farewell, and God bless. Thank you.
And now to introduce the guest speaker for this evening is your SCA President, Leah Brown.
Our guest speaker tonight graduated from Jackson State University with a bachelor's degree in political science with honors. He then went to Boston University School of Theology as a Martin Luther King Scholar, where he studied and received a Master of Divinity degree. He continued his education at Yale Law School and received a Juris Doctor's degree. He was the senior editor of the Yale Journal and a member of Yale Law Policy Review. Later, he became a special counsel at the Federal Communications Commission and is a former executive director of the Fair Housing Council of Greater Washington. He was also a trial attorney at the U.S. Department of Justice. He ran for Congress in the 10th District of Virginia in 1988. Currently, he is living in Lake Ridge, Virginia, and is a pastor of the Turner Memorial AME Church. He is the father of 2 boys, the oldest is 5 and the youngest is 2. He has been married to Janice for 10 years. It is my great pleasure and honor to introduce Mr. Cornell Brooks.
Good evening. Now, since this is a graduation, if I say good evening, I know it's got to be a good evening. Good evening. All righty. On this summer evening, an evening that will linger in your memories long after tomorrow's dawn, I want to thank the principal, the faculty, the parents, the teachers, and most importantly, the graduating class of this Potomac Senior High School 2002 for allowing me to be a part of this powerful celebration. Thank you. But now I want to say thank you for another reason. I understand, or I'm told, that Lenny Kravitz, Ozzy Osbourne, Eminem, Pink, and Usher will be performing on this very stage in the next few weeks. Let me confess, here and now, that I do not have the hip-hop athleticism of Usher. I do not have Lenny Kravitz's kinky, cool hair. I thank goodness don't talk or walk or even think like Eminem. I don't dance or don't sing and can't rap. So I want to thank this class because but for this graduation, there's no way Nissan Pavilion would ever let me on this stage. In preparing for this important occasion, I spoke to one of the architects of this ceremony, Miss Jean Gaudet. And Miss Gaudet told me in so many words that I, as a speaker, would need to look as elegant as these graduates. I need to fix myself up, if you will. She told me I would need to wear a robe and an academic hood. In order to order a robe or an academic hood, she said to me that she'd need to get some basic measurements, some physical measurements. Now, if you've noticed, I'm not a particularly or distinctively buff kind of guy. So I was just a little coy about giving Miss Gaudet my height and weight. She asked me, well, how tall are you? I started to say, oh, I'm about 6'1", by way of 5'8". She asked me, well, how much do you weigh? I said, oh, about 130 pounds with a coat and boots on. Now, you can say your speaker is calorie challenged, but in that brief conversation, I was left with a simple but perplexing question, and it is a question that I present to all of you this evening. How do you measure a graduate? Think about it. How do you measure a graduate? This graduation could be measured in terms of love. Love as wide as the smile on your mother's face or your grandmother's face or your aunt's face or your father's face, your grandfather's face or your uncle's face or the friends of your family and friends. This graduation might be measured in terms of the admiration of all of us for your accomplishments in the classroom, your achievements on the courts, on the field, your contributions to community, your presence in our families. This admiration can't be detected by an electron magnoscope or microscope, but it can be tabulated by an emotional calculator that tabulates all of the love, all of the admiration, all of the pride that your parents, your family, your friends feel for you right now. But the question is, how do you measure a graduate? This graduation might be measured in pride. When you hear all of us applaud your accomplishments, that's a measurement in decibels of our pride in you. But the question this evening is, how do you measure a graduate? For but a few moments, I'd like to suggest that we measure you as graduates by 4 measures. First, the size of your dreams, how you start, the magnitude of your service, and the depth of your faith. Now, some might suggest that the measure of a graduate would be your SOL scores, or your SAT exams, AP courses, or your grade point average. But I'd like to suggest to you that's not it. After all, we all know people who make A's in life, but get an I or an incomplete in life. Incomplete dreams, unfulfilled goals, half-finished plans, half-started ideas. The measure of a graduate is directly correlated to your dreams, your aspirations. Perhaps there's someone here this evening that although you have excellent grades, good athletic scores, you have popularity points, you have a dream in your heart this very evening that's bigger than all of that. Perhaps there's someone here this evening who, in the words of the United Nations Ambassador Andrew Young, is not graduating summa cum laude, magna cum laude, or even cum laude. Perhaps you're just graduating thank you, laude. And someone mentioned that I went to Yale Law School, but I can tell you, I didn't graduate from high school summa cum laude, magna cum laude, or cum laude. I definitely graduated, thank you, Lord. But perhaps there's someone here who's afraid to dream. You say to yourselves, despite the fact that people tell you you can do anything, that I can't do that, I can never go there, I can never be that, I can never live my dreams. Someone saying tonight, who is that somebody? Let me suggest to you that that somebody, if we're all honest, is us. Every once in a while, all of us are afraid of our dreams. But guess what? It takes no more work to live big and beautiful dreams than it does to exist in small and boring daydreams. It requires no more work, no more effort, no more sacrifice to dream and succeed than it does to fail and daydream. Think about this. Keep this in mind. Life is hard without dreams. Nothing makes you tired like going through the day without a dream to energize your passions and wake up your abilities. It takes more energy to fail and to be content with failure than it does to succeed and die trying. Some sophisticated graduating seniors saying to me at this very moment, well, that's all well and fine, Mr. Brooks. What about disappointment? What about the disappointment that comes about when you didn't get that prom date with that hot-looking boy or hot-looking girl? Somebody's saying this evening, I'm disappointed I did not get into my first choice of a college. I'm disappointed that I got the pricey student loan, not the prestigious scholarship. Somebody's saying this evening, I'm disappointed because I don't have all those cords around my neck and medals on my chest. I'm just graduating. I know a little something about that kind of disappointment. But let me suggest to you that no matter how many ribbons, no matter how many awards, no matter how many medals you wear this evening, at some point in the past, and certainly at some point in the future, you will wear disappointment in your heart. My scholarly response to that senior's question of what about disappointment is, so what? Let me share with you, disappointments can be frustrating, but they're not fatal. In fact, the best dreams are built on a foundation of disappointments, built with the bricks of faith mixed in with the mortar of hope. Disappointment is not fatal. Disappointment tells us of a student who made not one, but 2 C's in public speaking. This student had a dream. This student became the most eloquent spokesperson for human rights in the 20th century. His name was the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Disappointment is frustrating, but it's not fatal. Disappointment tells us of a student who was kicked out of school, was a premature rerun of the geek Steve Urkel, was described as mentally slow and a social misfit. But history tells us that this story, that this young man intellectually crafted the theory of relativity by dreaming or imagining himself riding a beam of light. Of course, I'm talking about Albert Einstein. Disappointment tells us of a Japanese-American boy whose baseball bat was confiscated by the United States government as a weapon. He and thousands of Japanese Americans were interned during World War II. Disappointing, distressing that your government would lock you up. But this boy grew up to become a congressman. This boy became the first Asian American member of the cabinet, and he now leads the Secretary of Transportation and the War on Terrorism. I'm talking about Norm Mineta. Disappointment will tell you that your dream is too big now, too big later, certainly too big for you. But let me tell you, as graduates of the Potomac Senior High School, there's something you can do. Let me share with you. Just imagine tonight you graduate. tomorrow, you become the principal of an imaginary Potomac Senior High School. It is a high school in which you are the sole student in the student body. You are the sole principal of the school. You have the authority to hire and fire any teacher at will. No contracts, no student body, no school board. And as the principal of this school of attitude, you have the authority to hire teachers called disappointments, teachers called failures, teachers called setbacks, teachers called screw-ups, teachers called mistakes. And when those teachers fail to teach you something that can make you more disciplined, harder working, more forgiving, more loving, more determined, you can get rid of those teachers. As principal of this school, you don't have to allow your past mistakes to break the dress code. Your mistakes, your failures, don't have to walk around like J-Lo or Britney Spears trying to catch a cold. In other words, your mistakes, your fears, your frustrations should be dressed in a positive attitude. Because let me be candid with you. Once you graduate, you will certainly face disappointment. But you're bigger than your disappointments. But you need more than big dreams. You also have to be prepared to start small. Life forces all of us, regardless of our race, our religion, our class, or our color, to start small, to start now, to start where we are. I can think of a fellow not much younger than you. There was a fire at his school. He was tragically burned in half of his body. The doctors told his mother that he was not likely to live and that he in fact would not live. This little boy was hard-headed. He lived anyway. The doctor said it would be better that your son would die because he will certainly be paralyzed. This boy was hard-headed, refused to give up. So what did he do? He started small. He started now, and he started where he was. And what he did was he pulled his charred, lifeless, motionless legs around his yard day after day, month after month, until he first began to stumble. Later he stood, and later still he walked. When he finished high school, as you're doing now, he went to college and joined the track team, and he became the fastest man in the world in the mile, Glenn Cunningham. Sometimes when your relationship fails, when you get a D back on the exam, you have two choices. You can either type the words "the end" across your dream, or you can start small. The third measurement of a graduate is service. Marion Wright Edelman, the child advocate, once said that service is the rent you pay for living in this world. As a graduate of the high school in Prince William County that most looks like the multi-ethnic world we live in, Potomac Senior High School, you have an obligation to serve. Service may be volunteering with the elderly. Service may mean tutoring the young. Service may mean transforming the racial battlegrounds in this country into pristine playgrounds that allow our children to laugh, play, and sing, red, yellow, black, or white. We're all precious in His sight. Service may mean going to the wall of democracy and erasing the moral graffiti of bigotry and painting a uniquely American portrait of Muslims and Christians, Jews and Gentiles, Catholics and Protestants, blacks and whites, Asian Americans and Latinos, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You have that within your capacity because the world looks like you. The fourth and final measure is faith. And this is what I want to leave you with. Faith is an enduring belief as deep as your heart and as high as your hopes. For some, faith is a personal conviction that I can do anything, be anything I believe. For some, faith is a patriotic conviction that this country does not have to be torn apart by terrorism, racism, anti-Semitism, or bigotry. We're bigger than that. For some, faith was evident in the strength found in the peace sought in churches, temples, and synagogues after September the 11th. But I want to say to you this evening, as an amateur moral scientist, I can say this to you, that under the best laboratory conditions, you can live without faith only so long as you can live without food and water. Let me tell you what I mean. By faith, your mothers gave you a teething ring to chew on long before they gave you cell phones to talk on because they believed in you. By faith, think about it. By faith, your parents, before you were moving or changing from FUBU to Tommy, they were changing you from Pampers to Huggies because they believed in you. By faith, your parents sacrificed, worked, did all they could. Your grandparents sacrificed, did all they could to ensure that you could be here tonight and they could be with you. By faith. By faith, some teacher read you nursery rhymes long before you can listen to or even say Buster Rhymes. By faith, some teacher made you study a map before you learned to explore the world on your own. By faith, someone stood by you. Let me say in closing, the best measure of faith is a look on the faces of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people here. By faith, they're here. But the best measure of a graduate is this evening, when you take off your cap and gown and you look into the mirror and you look at that man, that woman staring back at you, that person who has come thus far, who's graduated, who's persisted, who's persevered, who's done all of the things that you've done, that person, that face is the face of faith and the face of your future. Thank you so much for having me here.
Now, if we could prepare for the presentation of diplomas. Mr. Higgins.
Mr. Parker, I would like to present the candidates for graduation. Kevin Lloyd Adams. Esperanza Yvette Anjali Agnew. Marissa Delphina Augustine. Norman Ulysses Akers. Michael Christopher Allen. Ashley Ann Allred. Trinell Darrell Alston. Zora Anwari. Samantha Palang Opolanario. Amy Victoria Arrington. Casey Lynn Avila. Justina Isabella Baden Amisa. Tanika De Santos Basinas. Jonathan Emmanuel Bates. Brandon Michael Benner. Maria Fernanda Bermudez. Joshua Kevin Beal. Anthony Ray Blackwell II. Megan Lynn Blunt. Stephen Joseph Bracey. Juanita Christine Bradley. Melanie Jacina Bray. Amy Marie Brown. Dale Brown Jr. Leah Mae Brown. William Nathan Brown. Natalie K. Bruner. Rebecca Lynn Bruner. Charlene Lorraine Bryant. Victoria Allison Buffington. Alexis Ann Burke. John Tarsicius Bush. Kristen Michelle Campana. Laura Amanda Canaday. David Wilson Canaday. Joshua Wayne Cannon. Jonathan Santos Cappuccino. Anthony Bernard Aaron Cardwell Jr. Michael Darnell Carroll. Keenan Terrell Carter. Lindy Marie Carter. Citra Robin Castillo. Derek Wayne Calder. Amanda Marie Cave. Hadia Farasat Chaudhry. Songki Jo Chu. Andrew Thomas Chudasek. Jacob Aaron Cinnamon. Mitsu Jeanette Clark. Kenneth Paul Coble. Courtney Lee Coleman. Kema Haja Kanda. Crystal Lynn Cowan. Sakia Tamika Shea Cox. Lori Ann Craddock. Crystal Ann Crowder. John Anthony Crum. Megan Elisa Curran. Erica Monique Dabney. Nicholas Joseph Daskalakis. Rashad Devon Davis. Rashana Day. Ivan Christopher Deloach. Solani Ojas Desai. Shail Ojas Desai. Starla Marie Dietz. Bradley Warren Dillard. Linda Giuseppe. Laura Nicole Dobbs. Shanisha Monet Dunbar. Walter Ernesto Duran. Carrie Margaret Edmonds. Dan Thomas Edwards. Antoinette Zenny. Farron Lee Faulkner. April Michelle Fitura. Eric Ferguson. Josue David Fernandez. Michelle Nicole Ficani. Andrew Nathan Francis. Nakia Sherelle Franks. Caitlin Elizabeth Fritz. Sarniva Ivana Fullard. Kakokan Tamiku Gaither. Michael Galliano. Santiago Alejandro Gamboa. Matthew Warren Gandy. Stephen Douglas Garrett. Ronald Michael Gay. Robert Morris Golightly IV. Karen Zamara Gonzalez. Monica Yasmin Gonzalez. Colleen Beth Gosnell. Brian Antoine Griot. Christopher James Green. Nate Lachette Green. Adrian Nicole Grenchick. Tarek Andre Gross. Miguel Luis Dario Guerra. Danielle Michelle Haggart. Derek Jacob Hare. Joshua Adam Hall. Sean Hunton Hulse. Faith Alexandra Hamlet. Shazad ul Haq. Rose Anjali Harback. Joshua David Hardesty. Miranda Roberta Harris. Paige Kathleen Hart. Tierra Elise Hazelwood. Christopher Lawrence Henderson. Raina Naomi Henry. Jasmine L. Hidalgo. Roscoe Eric Higginbotham. Caitlin Ann Higgins. Brandy Joe Hill. Rebecca Lee Hirsch. Charisse Lacole Hitt. Darshell Kimora Renee Hooks. Armand J. Hope. Michelle Antonia Hughes. Alicia Orduna Hummel. Emily Kate Hunsaker. Tyrone Roshawn Hunt. Megan Elizabeth Jack. Eric Keith Jackson, Jr. Tradine Domiana Jackson. Wendell Jackson. Melanie Joy Jacobson. Christopher Andre James. Dwan Daryl Jarrett. Van Jermel Donovan Jarrett. Angel N. Johnson. Crystal Nicole Johnson. Lashura Maria Johnson. Chantel Charisse Johnson. Andrew Franklin Jones. Kivella Tyrick Jones. Natisha Shantae Jones. Amber Nicole Jordan. Shelkita Renee Kelly. Jonathan Lawan Kelly. Lauren Michelle Kelly. Willie Arthur Koger Jr. Nana Kum. Veronica Kusi. James Darnell Latimer. Holly Marie Longhorn. Mina Lee. Lauren Elizabeth LeFrancois. Yvonne Leonce. Natosha Michelle Lindsay. Kenneth Michael Lindstrom. Christopher Wayne Love. Kyle William Mahan. Carrie James Majeski. Joshua Leon Mangrum. Thomas Tyrell Manson. Brandon Keith Manyfield. Rochelle Platavega Morfori. Anna Myra Marichal. Rena Patricia Marquez. Sabrina Ann Marzarka. Michelle Diane McCain. Stephanie Ann McCann. Shannon Lynn McGee. Gloria McGrew. Tyrell Shane McKnight. Adam Leon McLaughlin. Charles Robert Midget III. Marcus Rashad Miles. Jason Ann Miller. Michael Malik Mincy. Christina Irene Mixon. Nakia Chantel Mobley. Brian Tawan Moore. Zarema Morales Mercado. Nicole Christine Moreno. Lori Beth Mowry. Michelle Patricia Mugg. Stephanie Irene Murphy. Shannon Rochelle Nelson. Sheena Marie Odoms. Raya Ohm. Alexandria Amber Ortiz. Antonio Christopher Page. Joseph Emmanuel Paredes. Adrian Terrell Parker. Bianca Angel Parker. Ivan Cardell Parker. Gregory Eddie Pascal. Kalea Joanne Patterson. Pamela Ann Peacock. Hasina Wendy Pearson. Corey Dwayne Perry. Kelly Victoria Peterson. Quinton Delmar Phelps. Mark Justin Plummer. Sean Thomas Ponterio. Jeremy Justin Porto. Gary Adrian Price. Risha Charmaine Pringle. Saima Mahmoud Qureshi. Wilbur Antonio Ramirez. Jan Jeremy Recto. Adrian Nicole Reed. Ebony Nicole Rivers. Ebony Crystal Roach. Denise LaShawn Robbins. Jennifer Denise Robbins. David Michael Roberge. Charles Christian Rogers. Christopher Carl Romig Jr. Jean Marie Roxburgh. Teresa Marie Sablon. Martha Melita Sanchez. Kwame Boateng Sarpong. Melissa Renee Seaton. Nasrian Hussam Shahada. Sadaf Sherwani. Brian Donald Shildnick. Neelam Atisham Sherwani. Duongmali Susan Sirakul. Maria Teresa Skodacek. Carrie Danielle Smith. Michael Jonathan Lee Smith. Eric Vernon Sidbury. Nicole Petrini Smith. Shannon Chanel Snow. Anna Jessica Sorto. Catherine Ann Southard. Samantha Lynn Spaven. Christine They must have gotten out of order. They just told me. Christina Nicole Spoon. Sean Mark Sporletter. Kyle Justin Springfield. Robin Marie Staten. Adam Michael Steele. Maria LaShawn Stepp. Antoine Lamar Stewart. Vincent Wayne Stewart. Andrew Owen Stinson. Stephanie Nicole Stutler. Ian Traherne Summers. Barry Joseph Sword. Jacqueline Renee Swisher. Jessica Chantel Teasley. Sonia Thomas. Nakia Michelle Threet. Stephen Allen Thurston. Michael Dean Tiller. Otha Tamar Tillery. Jacob Adam Tovar. Jessica Catherine Tuck. Chad Stephen Terrell. Mohammed Usman. Luis Felipe Vendrell. Gregory Dwight Venny. Jessica Melinda Vi. Dario Village. Cheryl Denise Wallen. Shanice Marie Wanzer. Shayri Javon Wanzer. Lindsay Christian Washington. Christina Marie Watson. Mark Anil Watson. Aaron Lee Weaver. Suzanne Leora Welsh. Daniel Charles Williams. Carlisha Chantel Williams. Sean Michael Williams. Tommy Jesse Wanham III. Lizandra Motique Woods. Nathan Joseph Warku. Margaret Jane Worthington. Arena Renee Wynn. Thomas Zachary Yasu. Veronica Yona. Beth Sarah Ziegler. Wojtek Zinowitz.
Okay, class of 2002, prepare to move your tassels. Just remember that when we start playing, you can recess up the back aisles. Please go all the way out. Do not stop because we'll get backlogged. So now this is what you've been waiting for. Okay, by the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Prince William County School Board, would y'all like to please stand up? I proudly pronounce you graduates. Congratulations.